Hi guys, welcome to another lab flip video. This lab is going to happen on Friday, April 20th, so you're going to need to have this video watched and the quiz taken before you come to class that morning. So make sure you have it taken care of by the 19th. If you do not watch the video and take the quiz, you will be doing an alternative assignment. This one is all about the minerals, and we're going to learn to use the MOHS scale, and there's a copy of it here in this science source, and we'll have copies out for you, or we'll have it up on the smart board. But minerals, which we'll be learning about all week, are rated on hardness among other characteristics, but hardness on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being very soft, talc, which is basically powder, 10 being very hard, which is diamonds. So we have these really nice sets of minerals, but our sets only have 9 because of course we can't afford diamonds. So we have the other 9 minerals that are part of the hardness scale. So you're going to take the minerals in this hardness set, and they are labeled by letters only, so you won't know which one is which. And you're going to test the hardness against some items that we know the hardness of. So you're going to start with your thumbnail, and then you're going to do a penny, and then a nail, and then glass, and then a streak plate. The most important thing for this lab is to follow these steps precisely, because you take one sample, and then here it says, does your thumbnail scratch the sample? And so I try to scratch it. My thumb is not scratching the sample, and so that's, if it's yes, I know what range my hardness is, and I can write that down. But if the answer is no, which it was in this case, that means the sample is harder than my fingernail, and it has a hardness of greater than 2.5. So then I move on to the next test. So this is all a series of yes-no statements. If it says yes, then you have to move on to the next statement. If it says no, then you know what the hardness is and you can write it down. And that might sound a little confusing, but the key is to work methodically, one step at a time. So I started with thumbnail, and that didn't scratch. So I'm moving on to the next one, which is a penny. So I'm going to try to scratch the penny with the rock, and it's not, well, it's harder than the penny. It's scratching the penny. So I have to move on to the next step. And then does the nail scratch the sample? That's my next step. So I take the nail and I try to scratch. That is not scratching. So no says move on to the next test. Then you keep the glass or the streak plate flat on the surface and you try to scratch it. That is rolling across the top. It's not scratching. So that means the glass is harder than the sample, so the hardness of this rock should be between 4.5 and 5.5. And I would write that on my sheet. You've got a lovely chart on the back. And then then I can go back to my MOHS chart and try to figure out which one it was based on how hard it was. So it's not difficult. You have to use your time wisely so you can test all of the samples. And then once you have them sampled, all the samples done, you should be able to rank them in order from the softest to the hardest and get a pretty good idea of what they are. And it should be the first 9 minerals that are on the MOHS hardness scale. Like I said, we can't afford diamonds. So just of all the labs we've done all year, this one you'll be the most successful if you take your time and follow all the steps. So the secret word this time is going to be onomatopoeia, and we need you to go take the quiz. Take it till you get 100 on it, and make sure you have that done before you come to class on Friday. And we're going to have some fun playing with minerals.